Hello everyone. Welcome to the Chemistry 3A hybrid course at Madera Community College Center. We have a lot to cover this semester, and I want to start out by introducing you to a couple of things that I hope will make your experience with this partially online class a little bit easier. I am showing here something that resembles the screen you will see when you log into this course on Canvas. This kind of pink border is just to show me that this is the student view, so you won't have the pink border. Other than that, it will be somewhat similar. Of course, this video will not show up because I'm recording it right now, but that one will be probably at the start here. So you'll start by watching this video, and then we'll kind of progress through these other things that you'll be doing. I'm going to go ahead and click on some of these, and they might change a little bit before you are in the course, but you'll have similar information presented at some point. So this is a kind of a welcome letter, similar to what I'm speaking to you right now. You can read through some information here. This is showing you, first of all, where to find the course. If you're watching this video, you probably know how to find the course already, and then some additional information on what to expect. The lab portion does meet each Thursday, so you want to be coming to class for that, and then also completing the online activities. You need to do both. Some additional information here. Some resources that you might need in terms of either how trouble with Canvas, accommodations, and then this is a resource on getting accustomed to an online class. We'll have that linked to again in a little bit. At the bottom of each of these pages, you'll see a next button, and if you just go through that through those next buttons, that will take you to whatever is the next portion of the course. So if you do that here, we have this discussion board, and this particular discussion board is specifically for any questions you have about how this functions in terms of the online course, not in terms of the content matter. So there will be additional discussion boards we'll talk about later related to content matter. This one is specifically for issues related to, maybe you're unclear about how the course is set up, or issues with Canvas or other issues. Anything related to that, this is where you would come for that. So you can always come back to this at a later time with those questions if you need to. This is the course communication policy. So this is some of the expectations I have in terms of how we will be communicating with each other. So go ahead and feel free to read through this. I will try to get back to you within a day or two. If you have questions, Tuesdays are probably the best day for me to get back to you, because they are the day set aside for a lot of issues related to keeping this course moving along. There is a drop policy, so you do need to be participating in both the in-person and online portions of the course. So you need to be attending lab every week, participate in the online portion. If there's something that is preventing you from doing either of those, you need to contact me so that I know you are still interested in the class. Most of the stuff we'll be doing, you need to have done before the in-class meeting. The exception is the online homework, and there is kind of you will be able to turn that in late if you need to, but I really want you to be on top of the material to be ready for what we do in class in terms of both the labs and the quizzes. So those will be needed. You will need to have those done to get credit for them before each Thursday. This is a link to a resource just to be helpful in terms of taking an online course. So this is the California Community College Online Education Initiative. I will let you read through this and find whatever resources you could find the most helpful. If you have been taking online courses before, you might already be familiar with this. If everything seems to make sense to you, you might not need to look at this. But if you are having questions about, how does this actually work, this is a resource that could be helpful to you. Okay, this is an important document. This is the course roadmap. This is showing, it's similar to the schedule you'll get in the syllabus, and this is showing how to know what to expect each week. So right now we're doing Module 1 on Introduction to Online Learning and the course. Hopefully this is something you can get through in a small amount of time. It would be good to get started on Module 2 somewhat early, because it is a denser one of the more dense things in terms of getting a lot done before that first lab period. So make sure to jump on this kind of right away. And then just kind of showing as we go through. There'll be a more detailed information related to this on a syllabus for the course specifically. I have not made that yet, and so the syllabus will be somewhere in this module as well when it is completed. Okay, so as an online class, there are several ways in which you will be able to interact via the discussion board. Because the subject matter in a chemistry course is more related to mastery of material, I wanted to avoid a discussion board where I'm just seeing people participate and you just get credit for saying, yes, I agree with everything you said, or replying in that way to someone else's comment. So I want the nature of the discussion board to reflect whether you are to what degree you are learning the material for the course. So I'm actually providing a lot of ways to interact here, and hopefully this is not overwhelming to you. My hope is that by providing so many ways to interact, you will find one or more that you find particularly helpful, and you can do those things instead of interacting in a way that you don't find helpful because there's only one option to you. So that's my goal with this. So there's a lot here. Again, hopefully it's not overwhelming, but I'll just highlight a couple of things. There are worksheet problems that go with each of the modules. If you would like to make a video of yourself solving one of those problems and sharing that with the discussion board, that would be one way that you can use the discussion board. So showing how you solve a problem could be very helpful to another student. People can respond to that. Be very respectful if you do respond to another student's video. You don't get credit for responding, but if it's helpful to you to ask questions, please ask questions. The student who posted that video, I would expect to respond to those questions, but I can respond as well if necessary. If you don't know how to solve a worksheet problem, you can ask questions about that. Other students can respond to that and would get credit for those responses. Now you don't want to just say, I don't know how to do number one. You need to be more thorough in explaining what you don't understand about it if you want to get credit. Now, if you want to just ask a question and you say, I don't know how to do this, that's fine, but to get credit for participating, you need to have a fairly good explanation in terms of what types of questions you have about that. Be careful that you're not asking a question someone else has already asked, so just look for that as well. And you can ask as many questions as you like, but you'll only, I think, get credit for one question per module. But again, others can respond to that. Another way you can respond is by making a quiz. So you can write a quiz based on the material from a module, and you can get credit for that kind of interaction. If you do that, other students can answer those questions and get some credit for answering those questions. When you make the quiz, you do need to send me your answer key so that I know you know how to do the questions you're asking others to do. I might take questions from these quizzes and include them in your quizzes or your exams. So just another bonus for using that method if you would like to. If you find a helpful resource, so something on the internet that you thought was very helpful to you in understanding this material, you can share that. You want to, when you do that, share what specifically you found very helpful about that resource. There's a limited number of times you can do that during the entire semester. So just kind of make sure to pace yourself with this way of responding. And then I do expect you to both post topics and respond to topics during the semester. So you should be doing at least 5 of each. You should be doing more than 5 of one of those in order to get full credit. And if you are able to do every single method, you'll get some extra credit for this. Also, this is something that you can in general get extra credit for. I want you to get 3 points a week, but you can get as much as 5 points a week if you do extra. So you can get a lot of extra credit for participation on the discussion board, but you need to do a bit extra work to get that credit. If you're not getting at least 1 point a week, it's showing me you're not engaged in the class, and you could be dropped from the class if you are not participating and not letting me know why you're not participating. Okay, so that's kind of the introductory material, and then some things that you will be graded on during this first module. Just introducing yourself, so it kind of explains what to do here. Why who are you? Why are you in the class? It's a way to get to know each other. Feel free to respond respectfully to other people's introductions, but just make sure that you're respectful of the other students, and everyone will get credit for this sort of introduction for the course. And there's a little, it says this is a quiz. These are not the same as the quizzes in your, that we do in the lab time, so this is part of your participation grade. Anything that's done online is part of your participation grade. So there's a couple questions related to material in this segment, so you can take it as many times as you need in order to get the right answer, and this will be graded as well. And then finally, the last kind of graded activity for this segment, for this module, is submitting a schedule to me. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because there are some students that think, online class just means I'm just going to do it, and I never have to, somehow I have all this time in my life for doing things online, so somehow in that time I'll just get it done. But you need to make sure you're setting aside time for the class specifically. So what I'm having you do here is figure out what is your schedule. What are the times that you are going to work on this, and treat those times as if that is your job to do those activities during that time. So you should have 9 hours a week that you are spending on this class, in addition to the 3 hours a week that you'll be in class. So 9 hours a week online activities, 3 hours a week in class activities. There are a couple of different sections, so I didn't block that out on the schedule, so you'll have to block out that time that you're in class, and then block out an additional 9 hours for activities that you do related to this class. So you need to figure out where do you have that time? Where do you have those 9 hours? What are you doing in the rest of your life? You have probably other classes, you probably have a job or family commitments. I know you're all very busy people, but you need to find that time. So figure out what is that time, fill out that schedule, and then submit that. You can do this in a couple of ways. Any format is fine as long as it's clear to me what those times are. You can show me the rest of your time as well, so you can say I have this time I'm in this course, these are the hours I work during the week, this is my family time, whatever the case may be. One way you can do that is with this student schedule. So I'm just giving you, this is based on our office schedules here, but expanded to include weekends and a longer chunk of time. So you can fill this in based on your time if you want. You can make up your own if you want. The main thing is that you are showing, definitely showing your time on Thursday, whatever that time is for the lab, as well as 9 additional hours for online activity. So this is also a graded activity. Okay, so that is it for that first module. That's what you need to get done for the first week of class before we meet the first time. I'm also going to talk a little bit about Module 2 because you'll hopefully you will start this before we meet on Thursday because it is a longer module. You might need a jump start on it, and sometimes the first week of class is a little bit shorter, so it might be easier to get that jump start. So for each module, there will be a set of learning objectives. So these are the learning objectives for Module 2, and there'll be a series of things that you should do in order to accomplish that. So usually the first thing to do is read your textbook. So this tells you what sections to read. There will be 1 or more videos for that module. This module has 3 videos, so you'll watch the first one. There's a worksheet on just the first video, so once you watch it, go ahead and do that. If you still have questions, you can ask them on the discussion board. Any of these videos, you can go back and rewatch as many times as you need to if that is helpful in understanding. Do the same 3 things for videos 2 and 3, so video and worksheet for each of those. Also, there is a PowerPoint for each of these, and a PowerPoint attached, so you can look at the PowerPoint if you want to, and kind of as you're going along and know what parts of the video will be the most useful to you. During some of these videos, I also go away from the PowerPoint to go through an actual solution by hand, so be ready for that as well. If you haven't posted anything to the discussion board by the time you finish these 3 videos, make sure to do that. So finish the videos, finish the worksheets, figure out how you want to engage with the discussion board at that time. Attend the in-class portion for the week. There will be a quiz and there will be a lab, so you'll be doing both of those when you come to class. And then after that, you can go ahead and start on the online homework assignment. If you want to do this before class, that's great. You're probably helping yourself by doing so. So feel free to start this before class, but this is not due until after class because that's an additional time you have to come to me with any questions. I would recommend starting on it before class, and then perhaps anything you don't complete before class is over, come to me with those questions. So I'm gonna go back to the modules view, and just to kind of reiterate, so you can go through the next to get through to the next thing, but you can always go back to modules to figure out where you are and if you need to go back to something. So for example, if you are working on some of these and you want to go to the discussion board, you can skip from here before you watch this video. You can go to the discussion board if you would like to. That is the introduction. Welcome to the class. I look forward to seeing each of you on Thursday, and have a great semester.